Freedom of information documents show the federal government approved a controversial port on the Tiwi Islands north of Darwin, despite warnings from its own Environment Department that the project would threaten endangered shorebirds and turtles. While the Commonwealth put a series of controls on the port's operations, the documents obtained by the ABC show these restrictions would reduce rather than remove the risks.
For more than a decade, scientists have been studying Melville Island's endangered olive ridley turtles.
Along Melville Island is one of the most important nesting sites for the olive ridley turtles, and they go in between nesting into an internesting state, and they actually hover about 40 k's offshore.
But the federal government failed to start assessing the environmental impact of a port servicing the offshore oil and gas industry on the island until June last year, when its construction was almost complete. The advice from the Federal Environment Department's Migratory Species section was that turtles could be hit by boats and that all ship movements near the port could disrupt the breeding cycle of an important population of olive ridley turtles. It said port operations would disrupt shorebird feeding and foraging, particularly for the critically endangered curlew sandpiper and eastern curlew, noting it could interfere with the recovery of the species. It said ship movements could disturb dugong feeding, and it was highly possible that a fuel spill may reach sensitive beaches. Ezion argued to the department, environmental risk and the risk of collision of vessels with marine fauna within the Darwin port is far greater than the transit between Port Melville and Mermaid Shoal. The Environment Department decided in October that significant impacts on threatened species would be reduced as long as the company followed control measures, including limiting ship movements to 40 per month, keeping ships as far from shore as possible, reducing speed to at least 12 knots, and following best practice hazardous material management. Environment groups are accusing the government of ignoring its own advice.
And what we'd like to see is that before further operations take place, that a full environmental impact assessment be conducted around these islands.
The Environment Minister, Greg Hunt, provided a statement saying that if the 12 controls put on port operations are followed, there's no need for additional federal approvals. Jane Barton, ABC News.